Hey, today I want to cover the one thing that is on everybody's mind at one point in time. It's not being very good at something. Matter of fact, you're so horrible you actually suck at it, but you have to do it as a job. How to not get stuck in that rut and how to get out of it if you're actually in it. Coming up, stay tuned. Alright, welcome to my channel, and if you have not subscribed to this, please hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell so you can get notified when I post something new. Today we want to talk about not doing things that you suck at. Everybody always talks about, oh, you should do things that are in your strength and know thyself and all this other stuff. But what if you're already in a job doing something that you know is not your strength, but hey, you got to pay the bills, right? So how do we get around that? First thing you got to do is you got to neutralize the nuances of the stuff that you are not good at. And sometimes it may not be that you're not really good at it, you just don't want to do it. So first thing you got to find out is where is the silver lining in what you're already doing. That's number one. And number two, take a look at what you've got to get done and see if you can morph it into something that you actually like doing. So if you can do that, you'll make your days go by so much easier when you're doing the work. So that's two ways that you're able to, if you're in a rut doing something that you really are not good at, that you can possibly pull yourself out of it. Now, another way that you can pull yourself out of it is that good old D word, delegate it. So if you are a mid-level manager or a executive, you might be able to take the task that you absolutely are not good at and delegate it to somebody else that is wonderful at doing it, that they do a great job at doing it. Now, okay, I hear you. What if you yourself are the best at doing this particular thing in the company or the organization that you're in, but you hate doing it? Once again, we go back to that training that everybody has received is, check this out. If the person can do it as 80% as good as you, delegate it. Okay, so you don't want to be bogged down. It will help you tremendously on the back end once you delegate this task, because your brain will be freed up. You will no longer be dreading doing the work. You'll be looking forward to going to work because you'll be doing things that is more in your warehouse and stuff that you like to do. Now, to take another approach to this, you can also do what Brian Tracy teaches, is eat that frog. And what the basic premise of that is, do the worst thing that you cannot stand doing first thing in the morning and get it out the way so you can go about your life. And I can honestly say I followed Brian Tracy's teachings for a long time, and it does work. I remember when I was in college and we had the ability to do workouts, I hated doing power cleans, absolutely hated it. So what I did was, when I got to the gym, there was no supervision. You can start your workout wherever. I started with power cleans so I can get them out the way, so I can get to the more funner stuff that I like to do. Now, ironically, the funner stuff that I like to do was basically stuff that I did well at. So kind of goes hand in hand. So same thing goes with your tasks that you're doing during the day. If you are not good at it, you will most likely not want to do it. Okay, so this also helps with that. So delegate it, let somebody else do it, but please make sure that you're delegating to somebody that it is 80% as good as you. Now, if you want to take it a next step further in that, you don't want to delegate something to somebody that does it 80% as good as you, but hates it just as much as you do. You're not doing them any favors, and that's one little. It's gonna be like a boomerang. It's gonna come right back around to you because that person quits, move on somewhere else. Now you're back stuck doing the task that you didn't want to do. So you'll make sure that when you do delegate it first, 80% they can do as good as you. Second, they actually like doing it. And you could probably creep into that 65-70% if they like doing it, because if they're new at doing it, and you could train them to get to that 80%, and then you'll be better off, trust me, than giving somebody that can do it 80% as good as you but hate doing it, and they end up quitting in 3 months or 6 months. Then it's right back to you doing it, and then you're right back in the same boat. All right. So next up is taking a look at the individual items that are in the task that you have to do that you are not really good at. Most of the time, it's not just one particular task. It's not just picking one thing up and putting it back down. A lot of times it's a task that's got a multitude of other tasks that's in there within something that you are responsible for getting done. So take a look at the entire process of what you're doing and analyzing, is this what I don't like? Is this what I like? See what you're neutral on, what you don't like, and what you actually do like. And then you'll find out that you may not really suck at it. You might be able to get good at it. You might be just horrible at doing one particular thing of the whole process. So maybe you can spend some time, a week or two, honing in on that and making sure you're able to get it done great, and then not suck at it. And then therefore you may not actually hate it. I had one guy that was telling me that when he became a barber, he cut African Americans' hair. He could not cut Caucasians' hair, straight hair. He had a hard time doing it. So when he sat down at the cosmetology school, the barber only gave him Caucasian people or people with straight hair, period. And then what happened was, when he did that, he ended up cutting their hair better than he ended up cutting the hair that he grew up cutting, which was African American hair. So the point here is, if you are not good at something, you can become proficient at it if you practice at it. But first thing you got to do is find out what it is that you don't do well, which goes back to knowing thyself and what you hear a lot, and catering to your strengths. Now, I will say this. Now, if the entire process that you're doing, you're not good at, and you really do suck at it, right? And you hate doing it, it's time to punt. And by punting that particular task, if you don't have the ability to do it because you have been told that this is your task, this is one of those moments where you can either keep doing it and live in misery, try to get better at it, which is not going to really work because you've already established that you're not going to be good at this, or have an adult conversation with your supervisor and say, hey, I'm not particularly good at this task that you have given me. Can you give me something else that I can do along these lines? Now, this is where it comes. It's very important to know thyself. Is making sure you get a task or name some tasks or projects or things like that that you can really contribute to, because you're not going to be able to contribute your best in this particular position. Most good managers and even great bosses or supervisors will be able to recognize this and say, thank you for letting me know this, because hey, it actually costs more to replace a person than it does to get them trained or transition them to another position. Now, think about it in sports terms. You don't fire the right guard on the offensive line on the football team because he's the right guard. You can just move him to left guard if he feels more comfortable on the left side. Same point. You can transition people in different positions and it works. You don't just kick them to the curb. Now, if you're solid wherever all the other spaces that you have to understand that if the organization is solid, you may be playing, be prepared for getting that blank stare back at you and then being let go. But hey, at least you're not doing something that you don't want to do. Which brings me to the next point, is making sure that you do have something lined up. And which is your other choice is, hey, I don't want to be here anymore. But at least you're having an adult conversation about it with your supervisor and with yourself, so you're not sitting stuck in the same job that you hate and you're not good at for years. Thank you so much for taking this time to listen to me. Follow and chase your dreams. This is C.B. Baker. Till next time. Peace.